To say that society has become drastically different, even as short of a time frame as 30 years ago, would be a drastic understatement. For the first time ever, communication is instantaneous as billions of people are making the internet a pivotal part of their lives. However, not everything changes, and not all change is good. Among the biggest things that has not only stayed ingrained in society, but has evolved with it, is bullying. The hold that bullying has over the way we think, the way we feel, the way we govern, and the way we act for centuries is catastrophic. Even now, with non-hazing and anti-bullying rules being put in place in clubs, in schools, and workplace environments, bullying still continues to be a global epidemic. But why? Why is bullying so prominent in our society? What kind of effect does it have on people? Why do bullies become bullies? All these will be answered in the following video. I wanted to grow to understand why bullying still is prevalent throughout society, along with why people go to great effort of putting others down, how bullying has evolved throughout time, and how people think it can be prevented. Through the use of interviews with friends, I sought out an answer to these questions. I interviewed 8 of my college friends, as the interviews took place in an environment where they felt comfortable, like their dorm room. I asked them a series of questions related to bullying, starting out with their experience of being a victim or a bully.
I don't know, I like roasting people. It's actually kind of a passion of mine. I pick out flaws in people. It's very fun.
In high school, I had quite a few experiences where there'd be the jocks or whatever you would call them, they'd push down my books or, push me in the halls or shit like that. Then there was this whole drama debate where there was rumors spread about and I practically got kicked out of the club.
In elementary school, I was picked on a lot by other kids for being weird or just not fitting in with a lot of other people. I'm very socially awkward naturally.
In middle school, I got bullied by the same 3 girls for a long time. They used to make fun of me in the locker room.
Camp Pongapog, the summer I went to earlier, I was bullied by the counselors, but not by the kids. Camp on the Go, my friends bullied me a lot, and the counselors never did anything.
As you can see, some were more willing to talk about their experiences than others. It seems many of the people I interviewed were affected in a great way, so I didn't pressure them to talk about it further. Next, I asked why bullying was so widespread and problematic in spite of rules being in place in schools.
I think bullying is so problematic because kids don't know how to listen to the rules that are put in place by authority, because kids typically don't like to listen to authority, and so when they're given rules, they don't want to follow them.
I don't think anti-bullying rules are that effective, or they're ever going to be that effective by putting a poster on the wall that says "Don't bully." I think that bullying's always going to be around. I think it's going to be a constant. As long as kids are having trouble, they're going to cope with it in bad ways.
I feel like kids don't care. You have the anti-bullying stuff, but they're not mature enough to understand that what they're saying and what they're doing is really hurting other people. Mm-hmm. I don't think they are, and eventually they have to learn their lesson.
For the next couple questions, I mixed it up a bit, skipping some questions and asked why did bullies become bullies?
I think it has stuff to do with home life more than anything. I think if someone's got a bad home life and get bullied by, let's say, their parents or someone at home that's abusive, like an older brother or a younger brother even.
I think it's definitely who they grow up around. It's whether it's their parents or their friends, what crowd you put yourself around and how you evolve from that definitely speaks. numbers.
I think your environment definitely shapes you. I think that peer pressure, sure, if you're a class clown, then I think that you'll definitely those kids will do anything for attention, whether it's positive attention or negative attention.
How bullying has evolved throughout time.
I think in the early days it was like shoving and stuff like that because they didn't have much to work with, and then maybe it was into writing or talking and spreading rumors and stuff. And now we've gotten to this point in time where you can almost fabricate stories about people with like fake text messages and fake DMs, and then ruin people.
I think the big one is cyberbullying, obviously, with like people, because on the internet you could just put like a username and like any stock photo image and just like tear into someone. And I think that's even more brutal, because at least when it's like face to face, and you can do something about it. But on the internet, like, there is no filter, and that stays forever.
And do they think they themselves could be bullies?
I mean, definitely. Because I feel like people jump to conclusions a lot about other people, and they might like say things in passing, or they'll say something about someone, and they're like, they're not here, they can't hear it, that's not gonna harm them in any way, like, it's all fun and games, and then a person finds out about it and that's like gonna hurt their feelings or whatever. Or like you have one person that like you just don't like and you don't want to be around, but you're put in a social situation with them and then you're kind of a dick to them, and it's like, that's not cool.
The last question I asked had very interesting responses regarding how bullying can be prevented and how we can help those affected.
How could it be solved?
Or at least prevented. Or do you think it could be solved or prevented?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we really can do much. I mean, if people actually put in punishments, but then it would go against so many other things that modern day society has put in place, it would, it'd contrast. I don't think we could really do much more than we can now.
I think that it can be prevented. The way that you do that is a little difficult, but I don't know. I think Massachusetts has some good anti-bullying laws that I feel like, I don't know, maybe we don't experience, but like we all think bullying's bad in Massachusetts, but I think like some states without those laws could be even worse. The way to prevent that, I guess, is like, I don't know, more strict penalties.
Kids can be brutal nowadays, and I really don't think that is doing any favors for anybody anywhere. But I think if friends tease each other, that's fine. I really don't think they should crack down on that too much, as long as it's not hurting any feelings or anything. I don't know how to prevent bullying. I think like maybe some one-on-one time with the kids, I think if the teachers are good role models to the kids and they one-on-one, they try to understand them and be friends, then that might help.
I don't know if you could ever stop it altogether, but you yourself, just putting yourself around the right people, seeking help. If someone's bullying you, you have to go to somebody, because you can't just live out your days, as scary as it might be to go to somebody, like just being tormented every day. It's just not the way to live.
I learned a lot through these interviews about why bullying is still a widespread epidemic. I do think my results show that our methods of preventing bullying and harassment in our schools needs to be greatly adjusted. I believe that a method of preventing bullying or helping those affected does exist, and I believe more studies will prove it. Doing so, we can finally put an end to a widespread social ill that continues to plague our society.